What is up, people of YouTube, gentlemen of YouTube, ladies of YouTube, all sorts of fellows and fellas and everything in between. It's MemoRandom. What's up, guys? How's it going? I hope everything is well with you guys. It's been a while since I've been able to stream. I've been trying to rack my brain on what I was gonna stream, and as I was watching the classic Juan yesterday, which I hope you checked out that video, and if you haven't, as soon as you're done with my stream, go ahead and check it out. Awesome video. He was doing Michael Jackson Moonwalker, and as I was watching it, I was like, man, this is so cool. It's so enjoyable. I really want to enjoy this and just sit back and relax and check it out. And he talked about how it was the anniversary of the Sega Genesis, and I was like, well, I don't want to do the Sega Genesis, but as you already know, I got me some love of the Sega Saturn, so I've got to do a video on the Sega Saturn. So racking my brain again, thinking, all right, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? And I finally decided that, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my stream on one of my favorite games of all time, changed my life. And it is this. It is Albert Odyssey, Legend of Eldean. It is a very, very much classic RPG done by Sunsoft, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Sunsoft, developed by Sunsoft, published by Working Designs. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this before I jump into the game, also giving some time for some people to come on and check out my stream, seriously. So I do want to talk about this for a little bit. So if you don't already know, the Sega Saturn was created originally to be the best 2D gaming system in the market. And for the most part, when you compare the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn, it's technically better. As a 3D gaming system, you know, you got to give the edge to the PlayStation, but for straight up two-dimensional gaming, it is an amazing system with an amazing controller. A lot of people don't give the controller of the Sega Saturn credit. Here we go. So let me just unravel this sucker. All right, here we go. So if you see here, the Sega Saturn controller just, I mean, it just beautifully sits in your hand. And I mean, look at that. Hear that sound. That C button's a little funky, but the rest of them, I mean, has a good bounce. The multi-directional D-pad really just kind of like sits on your thumb beautifully. And even those clicks right there. Love it. Beautiful, beautiful controller. So it just moves so well. And so if you're playing games like an RPG for a long time, it really kind of is just a great experience. Now, again, you're probably wondering, like, hey, isn't this supposed to be a live stream? Isn't this supposed to be a video on you playing Albert Odyssey? I mean, isn't that the point? And I was like, totally, yeah, it is the point, and that is one of the reasons why I did this stream. However, I did want to talk about how this game came into my life. Now, not this exact copy. I was very young when I actually received my copy of Albert Odyssey. And I believe, yeah, I just was checking the year, and it probably wasn't exactly this year, but I'm going to go ahead and say it was pretty close. So it must have been around 1997. I must have been about 12 years old. My father at the time, if I was 12 years old, he must have already have passed away. And he was very kind in the sense of purchasing games for us. But this is not one. He did not purchase this game specifically, but we were very depressed, and the Sega Saturn was pretty much on its final legs, and we really wanted to purchase a game. So we would get these magazines that were focused on purchasing video games. Like in the back of the magazine, it would say like, "Oh, call this number and order these games now." And the only reason why we even bothered with that stuff is that most of the game stores that were in the city that I live in weren't very kind when it came to the availability of certain titles, and so we really wanted to buy a game, and specifically we wanted to buy an RPG. Now, most of the RPGs that we played were Shrine of the Holy Ark, which is a first-person RPG. It is a turn-based RPG, but it's a first-person, so you don't really see the characters. And I believe we hadn't bought Shining Force 3, so I believe that was our only RPG. I may be wrong, but if I remember. No, thank you so much, Jack of all Gabes. Thank you so much for showing up. Right now, I'm just talking about when I received my copy of Albert Odyssey. So I did not buy this copy of Albert Odyssey from the stores. We bought it in the back of a magazine. Now, we called the number, and they're like, "All right, that'll be $60." And me and my brothers put all of our money together, and we gave it to my mom, and my mom let us pay it off of her credit card. Yes, and I'll go ahead and talk about how I got this copy in a bit. So my brothers, we put in the order. We were so excited that we purchased the copy of Albert Odyssey. Then we heard that Sega Saturn was dead, that they were not going to release the game. Or any games anymore. So we're kind of nervous. So we didn't know what to do. But all of a sudden we get the message that the guy is dropping off the game. Literally, the guy from that business got into his car and drove the game to us. It was such a weird experience. I mean, he wasn't the post guy. This guy was like a worker at this game station that was losing all of their Sega Saturn stuff, and he grabbed it and brought it over and gave it to us. And he was like, "All right, here you go." And it was such an amazing experience. Now, as a child, I did not take care of my copies of the games. And if you know anything about the Sega Saturn games, one of the first things that will go is the case, mostly because since it's not a traditional, I wouldn't call that traditional. Let me see. Give me a little bit. There you go. It's not like a traditional jewel case. A traditional jewel case, obviously, very simple, very little space for it to bounce around, closes very nice, and not only that, but if the jewel case breaks, super easy to replace. However, when you get a Sega Saturn or a Sega CD case, if this breaks, that's it. There are no replacement cases. Either you buy a cheap sports game and then you replace it, or that's it. And I'm a kid. I'm not going to go buy a game just so I can replace the case. So that's it. But the second problem of a Sega Saturn case is this: the space. If that CD jumps out or pops off, guess what that CD is gonna do? It's just gonna run up and it's gonna slide, and so it's going to rip your CD apart. So that's actually why some of these games are so rare, and so rare in terms of functioning, is because there's just so many things that could go wrong. And so that's one of the best things about I shouldn't say the best. That's one of the things about the Sega Saturn, but also the best thing about having a complete Sega Saturn game. So, explaining that, one of the first things that went was the case. The complete cover broke. After that, of course, the manual tore because we didn't have it in a place where we could take care of it. Then the CD began to get scratched because we still kept it in the case, and I mean, it just ripped apart. And we did switch it over to a jewel case. We tried repairing it several times, but by the time I got to about 20 years old, that disc was unrepairable. And I don't know what happened to that original game disc, but it was just gone. So I was in search for another copy of Albert Odyssey all throughout my 20s. And, you know, early on, I would see it for like $100 and $110, $120. Slowly, every year, just going up just a little bit more and a little bit more. Especially when it comes to a complete version of it. And I lucked out. I was able to get a copy of the game complete, obviously in a functioning case. So I was just so in love. I was so happy, and I wanted to share the experience of me playing a little bit of the beginning of the game. And so hopefully we can have a good time doing that. So guys, continue to chat with me on the live chat because you know how happy that makes me. Let's go ahead and get into game mode. All right, here we go. So, here we go. Game mode. All right. Oh, that is so sweet. I would be so happy. I am a married man, but I believe my wife would not mind a ménage à trois. Perhaps. All right. So here we go. All right. Now I am using. I put the game disc in my system, but I am using an emulator only because at the moment I do not have a capture card. So I do apologize for the untrue fidelity of how I'm going to be playing this. Okay. How much did I pay? I did pay quite a bit, more than what I would have wanted. I did pay about $150 for the complete. Better quality than what I saw at most conventions. Not the best quality I've ever seen though. I'm not gonna be purchasing a bunch of games, but I am trying to get most of my games back slowly. Very, very slowly. Because that's just how much these games really mean to me. But I am going to take my time. Plus, I find it a bit of an investment, not a monetary investment. Although like I said about the rarity of just finding a complete case with the game in functioning order, with even the instruction manual. The thing that you're really investing in is games that don't exist. That actually had that really touch, and I think the classic Juan really touches upon it when he talks about his gaming, is that these games were important to him when he was a child, and he hopes to pass it on to his own children, and that's what I want to do. RPGs are just another form of storytelling, just as much as any book or any story or any television show. And one of the best things is that you're actually in control of the characters that are in the story. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit this up. Again, please chat in the chat and you know, experience this game with me. And oh man, I'm kind of nervous here. I haven't started it up. If I get emotional, I'm gonna try to be a little manly, but I can't promise that. All right, like I said, this is through an emulator. I have... All right, if I get quiet a little bit while I'm playing the game, I do apologize. I do attempt or try to
In ancient times, magic masters created.
I want you guys to check out this intro.
Fogasta. It is said that there the Eldean brothers and a sister were born. Unfortunately, as they grew, the Black Dragon Vlog sensed the power of the Eldean clan and sought to destroy the Eldeans and their enchanted kingdom. As the Black Dragon began its murderous assault, the three siblings combined their power, dealing the wicked beast a mortal wound that spewed vile blood upon them. Once word spread that the dragon was no more, the people of Fogasta rejoiced in their newfound heroes and reveled in thoughts of eternal peace. However, the revelry was cut short when one of the three claimed Madriger, the foul sword crafted from the very soul of Vlog. Taking the title Immortal Emperor, he set about destroying all that was pure in the land. Though many fought the Black Tide valiantly, all were crushed by the insane power of the Fiend's sword. Soon it was clear that each of the Eldean clan had gained immortality by means of Vlog's blood. Redoria had moved to darkness, while Eston and Cirrus shone brightly in opposition to his advance. The battle of the Immortals spanned days, and Redoria's strength was growing with each passing second. When it seemed as if there was no way to stop her power-mad brother, Cirrus quietly called upon the one secret power she had hidden from her brothers, and transformed herself into the Holy Sword of Eldean. It was a final, desperate act to counter the vicious and undeniable power of Madriger. Surprised but determined, Eston took the Holy Sword, raised it high, and cast a mighty blow towards Redoria. The resulting blast sent tremors through the land for untold distance. As the bold and curious alike approached the battleground, they found no trace of the Eldean clan. Redoria, Eston, and Cirrus had vanished. Many thought that the tragic legend of Eldean had thus ended. Alas, it had only just begun.
Oh man. So, as you may have noticed, there is voice acting in here, so the music is beautiful. But obviously the voice acting's a little cheesy at times, but here we go. Here we go.
Many years have passed since Albert left his heroic mark on history, and the peace that once was is no more. Goblins pillage the land, claiming countless innocent souls. And now the murderous roving bands have set their ruinous sights on the village of Carnate.
Oh, just wait.
The roof is on fire. We can't stay inside or we'll be burned alive.
But if we go outside, the goblins will surely slay us all.
I'm sorry, Cirrus. I did not want to use you in this foul battle, but...
It's all right, Master. I understand. I would do anything to protect you and your family from harm. Use me as you will.
Shh! Don't cry, little one. Your father will protect us.
Maria, we have to go now.
I'm coming. I'm coming. Look out.
Blast! Purge their vile goblin hides. Maria, this way. Follow me. This is impossible! They're everywhere!
Oh, it's hopeless. We're short of papers. Careful.
Cirrus!
I'm ready. Let's go.
No. Ah!
Master, I failed you, but I shall not fail the child. Oh dear me, the child, it's still alive. And what's that? A sword? It must have belonged to the baby's father. It's a fine weapon. Perhaps Fulte will have a use for it. Everyone, come! Look what I found in Carney.
The voice acting. I can't judge it because I mean this is like mid to late 90s.
Came and went, 40 in all. In that time, the child Lyra rescued grew to young manhood.
All right. So I'm just gonna lower it down a little bit and talk a little bit about that. So, yeah, that by far is one of my favorite beginnings of a game, and it's why and it's hard to talk about this because we live in a world where a lot of people are like, oh, I hate this game because it's like 90% like cinematics and like 10% game. And I fucking hate that. Like, I play like 2 seconds of gameplay and then the rest of it is like cinematics. I fucking hate that. And look, I get it. And that I can see how that could be annoying, but and in some games, you know what, and especially if it's a bad story, then fuck yeah, like that's stupid. But in a game like this, like even though all of that I think was something like 5-6 minutes, if you include like the story at the beginning of the introduction and then the introduction of the game itself, it sets it up so beautifully, you know, and in such a short amount of time, you grow a connection to this character and you grow this connection to the loss that he had. And I don't know if it was just the part of my life. My father had just passed away not too long ago, and then seeing that and being like this orphan's warrior, this orphan warrior, and going through this, and not that I was an orphan, you know, I lived a good life with my mother, but what I mean is that idea of loss. So it by far one of the coolest things about the game that I thought was interesting. Man, brought back so many freaking memories just doing that. Love. And so difference between a publisher and a developer. and some of you guys are like, I know what the fuck the difference between a developer and a publisher is, but just in case for some of you guys that don't know the difference between the two, the developer of this game was Sunsoft. Now that means they actually created it. The game engine, the animations, the sprites, the all the main things of the game. Now the publisher, which is an American publisher, which is Working Designs, does all the other stuff. Americanizes it first, which means that they'll redub and do the text. So like a lot of this, like wake up you pint-sized noise factory, your incessant snoring is in danger of shattering the windows. That is hardcore Working Designs fun. And if you don't know Working Designs, they'll give you some of the great games like Lunar, Silver Star Story, Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, Magic Knight Ray Earth for the Sega Saturn, Vanguard Bandits, I believe Arc the Lad. I mean, they published so many games and Americanized it, and it has a very, I have a very soft spot for those games, and there will be a lot of other publishers like Atlas that does very similar things. Atlas being like games like Disgaea, which, by the way, Fernie, if you're watching or you're watching in the future, you still had my copy of Disgaea. I'm just saying. But anyways, so all right, let's go ahead and keep going with this. So it is an emulator. This is an emulator. So you're gonna see like weird things like repeats on sound like that skipping sound, but it's not the game disc. Game disc is in perfect condition. All right. So you obviously have your items menu. Has no magic yet. You got your armors. You have 4 item slots. Traditionally in old RPGs, not all of them, obviously, but traditionally, like your Falcom or your Super Falcom or your Super Nintendo games that are RPGs, you tend to have those slots. Here's your basic info screen that gives you your hit points, obviously using a probably a D memo cut. Yeah, I can take you down, motherfucker. A D&D method, or at least like a system. If it's not specifically a D&D roll system, it's obviously a stat based and random number generator system. I believe this is no, so this does have save points if I remember. If I'm wrong, we'll find out right now. And I'm hoping I can get to the point of some. I'm so bad. When I was a kid, I was better, but now like these like chat menus or these, I suck at them. When I play Brave Exvius or any other mobile game, whatever, and I freaking go through them real quick. I just can't. So I don't remember. Oh. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I gotta find Folte. So I believe I can look into pots. Yeah. All right. You aren't by any chance Folte, are you? 10 years. For some reason at the beginning of, like, when it says it's been, I thought he said 40 years, but, and then I thought 14, but it seems like he says 10, so I am a 10-year-old child. The inconsistencies. Yeah, protect ring. This is me at the beginning of most games, most RPGs. Let's just look around, see what we can find. All right. So I don't know if you saw this the first time. This is one of the cool things that I enjoy about it. That, you know, that you literally open the door. You're not just walking in through doors. I don't know why I like that. I just do. It just makes it seem a little bit more real, I guess. I like that, being very aware of, like, this guy's just walking around in my house doing whatever the shoot he wants. Alright, let's see. Is he in this tree? Doesn't seem like it. Here we go. The memory crystal. I like how they explain, like, what is it? There you go. My first save point. I won't play through the whole game, obviously. Like I said, I just want to get at least to... This reminds me of, like, Escaflowne. If you ever saw the movie Escaflowne or the TV series, this reminds me. I don't know why when I do know why. Spoiler alert. Vaughn has wings. Hashtag Vaughn has wings. But yeah, it just reminds me of Escaflowne. By the way, the character designer for this actually did the character designs for Mobile Suit Gundam 007. 007? 083? I don't know. One of those. You want to see a beginning to end? Oh, jeez, dude. Yeah, Jack of all Gibbs is asking from a beginning to end game. Hey, if I can get... I'll do a beginning to end series of Albert Odyssey if I can get 10 likes. 10 likes, that's it. 10 likes and I will... totally do a beginning to end series of me playing Albert Odyssey. Just using your house again. My expressway. Dude, I was like gone for like, what, 10 seconds? Dude, I know what I would like to do? since there's obviously the voice acting is very specific to the game, it'd be awesome as I get the characters, if I get you guys and some of the guys that enjoy watching this and check out my video, you join me in voice acting all of this stuff. That'd be awesome. And we all get together and we'll read the texts and everybody gets to play a character. I would love to fucking do that. That would be amazing. Doing a full Albert Odyssey playthrough, adding voice acting within it. I think that'd be awesome. What do you guys think? Talk in the chat. All right. What can I say? I'm hungry. Is that a crime now? Get the water so we can get on with this, Layla. You're torturing me. No, I'm not gonna do hers. Alright, going through this again. There's the 3D graphics. This is really what the Sega Saturn... I know it's such a small thing, but this is what they wanted for the Sega Saturn. 2D animation with 3D animation to accent or to really kind of give that zest, to give a bit of a flair to the animation. It is. I mean, yes, it is. What do you think I'd forget a birthday? Yeah, I would. Am I getting her address or sending my love? Sending my love. How lame is that? Ah! I know it's in November, so that's all I'm gonna say. It's like November 17th, I think, or something like that, somewhere in the teens. Jesus. Got so close I could see his pixels. You were born on a holiday? Oh, I'm guessing Thanksgiving then? That's why you're so fat? Pike attempts to maintain bladder control. Jesus. I have no fucking clue, dude. I don't know if you know this. I'm actually one of those people. Sorry, I'm having an argument over here on the side. Obviously, you can see it in the chat. Gabriel Biotti on the chat, which is actually Jack of all Gabes, and arguing with me about his birthday, which I don't give a shit about. Oh, jeez. Oh, they took the crystal. Oh, I'm stoned. I love the music. Is that an oboe? Man, it's just so beautifully done. He gets a little cape. Just gotta make sure I got everything equipped. Alright, I think I might actually be able to get to some battles here. So you can kind of see how the battle system works here. No capes. Alright. I wonder if this is going to send me to the map. Here we go. So here, this is a little bit of that 3D look. I like the music. I like it. Look when he how he sounds. It's just perfect combination of fun. Okay, so it's a traditional turn-based game, obviously, as you can see. The sprite animation on the bottom, or I shouldn't say the sprite, but the portrait animation on the bottom, or the actual drawing, very cool. Love it. Like I said, the guy that did it is an actual anime artist. Beautiful. I like the sprite design, very fluid. But try to listen in here when the attack goes through. That sound effect, love it. Mostly because it's so easy to add like bad sound effects. I like that excited that I won thing. Kind of reminds me of like the Peanuts. A lot of werewolves. So this is one of those games that you have a chance to block. And me and my brothers were so obsessed with saying block, like while the attacks were going on, that we actually believed that there was a microphone in the controls, that if you said it loud enough, you would block. It was such a weird thing about us. Hey, level up. I'm just waiting. Yeah! That's all I was waiting for. Dude, it works. dude, if you say it loud enough, I think it actually... And the thing is that it would mess with us. Like, it would literally block when we really tried to say it loud. And so it just fed into our superstitions. Which is probably why I have, like, such bad superstitions today. It's not just about how you say block. It's when you say it. Timing is everything. Oh, this is sad. I wonder if my parents are still here. I like that, the little dust ring. It's awesome. I like that this game keeps the name of a character. You know, like the Nameless Warrior. I fucking hate that. Or any, like the early Final Fantasies were obsessed with doing that. And no, I like when they would give the name, like you're forced to. Right? A little bit of Orlando. Yeah, totally. Cruising for chicks. I'm gonna have a very minty breath. So, what are you guys thinking of the game so far? You enjoying it? Go ahead and tell me what you guys think in the bottom. Oh, all right, here we go. Block. No, sorry, not drinking. It did. That freaking worked. You guys were witnesses of it. And a nice Chianti. This is my favorite part. Commanded. Alright. One is going to try to hit me. Alright, let's see if we can block. Block! Oh, okay, I'm not gonna say it. Let's see if it hits. Oh, looks like it always blocks. That ruined my heart. It was totally me. It's the Force. That's what it is. I've noticed that you've been looking at my unusually well-developed eyebrows. Other beast bots. I said roll certain. I'd love. That's the one thing I have to give to Working Designs. They are so good at I think at Americanizing games. I think they're actually one of the best. Oh, congrats.
Let's get down to business, Swordmaster.
Let's get down to business, Swordmaster.
Careful out there, Swordmaster.
Be careful out there, Swordmaster. I like how they explain why what you buy, when you sell it back, why is it less? And it sounds like not a big deal. If you missed it right now, she just said like, oh, I can buy it back, but only 50% of the cost, because I will use the 50% on cleaning it and refurbishing and all that other costs. And I like that because one, it gives a basic concept of economics, but then two, it kind of sets up the stage for anyone that this is like their first RPG to kind of like figure out like, well, why is it that I'm not getting all my money back? Hey Marco, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Awesome to have you. Yeah, this is Albert Odyssey. I'm so glad that you're here. It's awesome to see you again, playing a game that I haven't played in, oh man, it can't be 20 years. 20 years. I haven't played this game in 20 years. That can't be right, but yeah, I'm 32 years old, 20 years. Jesus. Oh, no problem, Marco. Don't worry about it. That's the point that I was trying to make. It's such an awesome thing, and that's why I feel like this is such a good RPG. And by the way, this game doesn't actually get a lot of credit, even within the Sega Saturn. I mean, don't get me wrong, this isn't on a couple people's top 10 list, and I don't want to say like oh, but this is like my top 5 RPGs of all time. In all systems. Nice. Love that music. I'm not even kidding. Right? I wish more people showed their appreciation for some of these old classic games. And I know I'm using terms like old and classic, but I mean 20 years ago. Here we go. Here we go. Block! Yes! Yeah, this is also one of my favorite soundtracks. Oh yeah, Xenogears, dude. Fuck yeah, for the PlayStation. Not a big fan of Xenosaga. It's PlayStation 2 sequel, but sequel? Would it be considered a sequel or just like a game series? Like Panzer Dragoon Saga. Compose this? Let me actually, I think I have it here. I don't have it. I'll get that for you. Let's see if I don't get it now. Alright. Here we go. Blocking ability. Here we go. Block! Yeah! Dude, like nothing's hit me. I maybe shouldn't have said that. That probably jinxed me. Oh. Yeah, I figured Xenosaga wasn't connected. Cosmos is... Dude, come on. Sirius reads the letter aloud. She's hooked on phonics. If you don't understand how great that is, then you truly did not know the 90s. Hooked on phonics works for me. I'm all like, let me go. And they're all like, no way. So, save me, okay? She's hooked on phonics. Oh, it's just repeating it. Repeating the same thing. Here we go. I think this is it. Okay. Is this a hacked game? Yeah, I had Alondra. What? I kind of want to get hit at least once. What? Dude, seriously? And actually, Alondra was done by, I think no, it wasn't done by Working Designs. I think, oh man, I'm not 100% on that anymore. I literally just looked it up not too long. If it's not Working Designs, then it's either Game Arts, which also did Grandia, I think. Or it's Sunsoft. Oh, my game crashed. Wah, 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 wah. I guess all that hacking messed it all up. Oh well. Well, you know what? That just means that this is a good time to just go ahead and call it quits for now. I hoped that you got to enjoy the little bit of the game Albert Odyssey with me. It brought back so many memories. It brought back so many good feelings. Yeah, it might be Sunsoft. I don't think Sunsoft makes any games anymore. But anyways, it's a game that has a very, very important spot in my heart when it comes to RPG. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed my stream, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you are not following me currently, make sure you click that subscribe button. I also have the links to both my Twitter and the BeerDead Gamerz Twitter down at the bottom. You can see that at MemoRandomBD and at the BeerDead Gamerz. You could also find the Facebook link at the bottom in the description below. And I believe I also have the Classic One down there also, so you should be able to check that out too. I believe the next person of the BeerDead Gamerz that will be streaming or at least posting up a video is the Classic One. That is not 100%. I just believe that he is. If you do enjoy Albert Odyssey and you would like to see a BeerDead Gamerz reenactment of Albert Odyssey with us doing the voice acting as we're going through the game, hey, if we hit 15 likes, I'll go ahead and get them to do it. I'll try. I will try my best. But that's only if we hit 15 likes. So smash that like button or click that like button. Like. There we go. Like button. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I am MemoRandom. Guys, stay random. Check out the BeerDead Gamerz at facebook.com/thebeerdeadgamers. And you guys have a good one. I'll see ya. Bye.